Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers for inviting me to participate in this forum. And I was a bit perplexed when I got the invitation because I wondered whether I was asked to address this particular topic, taking into consideration that I'm actually retired. And it is something that many of us, at some stage or some point in our lives, we have to come to terms with. And I am happy that I was requested to address this topic, because as we go through the topic, I would mention some areas that I faltered with as I was going through my own life. To begin with, when we hear the word retirement, we often consider it as being relevant to quote-unquote old people, or what we now refer to as senior citizens. I recall, as I was growing up, the word retirement seemed far removed from any plans that I had in terms of my career and in terms of my professional development. We often think retirement is a long way off, but it quickly creeps up on us before we could even blink our eyes. What is retirement? Simply put, it is the action of leaving one's job and ceasing to continue with regular work. According to Wikipedia, it is the withdrawal from one's position or occupation or from one's active working life. And I like that part, is your active working life. So you have retirees and you have retiree. You could work it out. The mandatory retirement age for public servants who make up the bulk of the workforce in Guyana is only 55 years. For many of us, the ages 55 through to 65 are the most productive time of our lives. It is a time when we are very comfortable with our profession. It is a time when we are most assertive and comfortable as adults, as we see ourselves as role models and mentors in our work environment. Yet, it is a time when we are required to cease or retire from the workforce. Today, we are addressing women's issues for International Women's Day to be observed on Tuesday. So as I go through this presentation, I will focus mainly on retirement as it relates to preparing women for retirement. In this discourse, I will examine some of the reasons why women fail to prepare for retirement and look at what can be done for women to get ready for a safe, comfortable, and healthy retirement. I'm glad that Dr. Basio went before me because I think she dealt adequately with issues of health. So that will help me to curtail a little on my presentation. To begin with, women make less money than men. And this can be argued. Most women are employed as teachers, nurses, clerks, caregivers, and domestic help, which attract very often the lowest remuneration, thus resulting in women making less money than men. Additionally, many of them find themselves in jobs which do not offer any retirement plan. Secondly, women tend to live longer than men by at least 5 years, creating a significant setback for retirement. In Guyana, life expectancy for women is about 73 years, and I got this from the Bureau of Statistics, while the men, their life expectancy rate is 67. So, a woman who retires at 55 must plan for at least 18 years of retirement. Thirdly, more women than men drop out of the workforce at least for a while to take care of children, sick spouses, or elderly parents. They may not be earning or contributing to any social security fund during those periods. And fourthly, there is a significant lack of information and awareness about retirement and how the various pension schemes function in Guyana. So, what should women do to prepare for retirement? To begin with, they need to be aware of their financial plans. Women should, in a very aggressive way, practice budgeting, which would include their retirement plan. And they should do this very early in their career, as this will help them to make informed decisions and set realistic retirement goals. So, what are some of those things that you need to ensure that you plan and budget for? My mother always said, ensure you have a roof over your head. So, if you're going to build a house or if you have a mortgage, you try as much as possible to either ensure that that is completed before retirement or that you have a few more years left for you to complete your roof over your head. If you are going to reside in Georgetown or the suburbs or in a rural area, what are your plans for transportation? How are you going to deal with your children? And even in your plans, you must know your cutoff point for your children. It's a tough decision, but it's something that we must address even as we budget for our senior citizen years. For young women now choosing a career, they should consider long-term prospects of the field they are entering, or look for upward mobilities and opportunities within their profession. If for some reason you have to leave one job for another, especially outside of the public service, you should explore options to continue to contribute and invest in any existing retirement plan. Now, I'm guilty of this one, okay? I work with the public service, but then I moved on in my own profession. But I never looked back at things like NIS and another pension fund that I will mention later. So it's very important that you pay close attention to all that you can benefit from in your retirement years. Fortunately for me, at the time that I made the move, I had enough contributions which entitled me to receive benefits from NIS. Secondly, it is important that as women, we know our worth. Studies show that many women tend to settle for lesser salaries and lesser increase in salary options, or they do not want to confront their managers or their organization for a salary increase. As women, we should develop good negotiating skills to better articulate our worth and our needs. Women may expect to have a husband or a partner to help with expenses in their retirement years, but very often death and divorce alters the best plans they may have. In cases of divorce, women may quickly agree to terms just to get it over with. I don't want nothing for me. Legal long you win. Or they may hesitate to ask to what they really need, or what they really worth, or what they're really entitled to. Do not be reluctant. Do not hesitate to discuss all aspects of the division of property, maintenance, and always remember his retirement plans as well. You are part of it once he was your husband. Sorry guys, I'm not bashing you, but it's the reality, and a lot of women have encountered these same problems in their lives. Thirdly, they need to be knowledgeable about Social Security and retirement plans that exist in Guyana. In Guyana, there are 3 senior citizen benefits one must consider. You know, I'm an old teacher, so I can ask anybody, could tell me the 3? Old age pension, NIS. I know the government pension is always there. What else do they? Huh?
And public service pension that you get from the Ministry of Finance.
Yes, that is. But there's one that is always overlooked, and I'm going to address that now. Right? We have the contributory NIS pension scheme, which one becomes eligible for at the age of 60. But what happens? Many of us wait until we are age 60, and then we are going to apply. It is important that you begin checking on your NIS contributions and everything at least 5 years before you retire. There are a number of issues that women, and I can say men, do encounter when it comes to NIS. Some of them fall short of contributions because the organization wasn't paying it. Some of them, a very, very common one, is name change. They got married and they never report to NIS the marriage, so when they turn up with the document, that becomes an issue. So it is very important that we check on that. The second one is the non-contributory senior citizens pension scheme. So that one kicks in at age 65. But sometimes we wait, and we wait, you know, you're still trying to come to terms that you're now really a true senior citizen, that you're really 65, and you wait and you do not apply. Now, when you wait 1 year and 2 years down the line to apply for this senior citizens pension, it is not retroactive. So you lose out. So they will only give you, after you go through the whole process of proving who you are and that you're living in Guyana, you're really a Guyanese, etc., they will only give you from the month that you actually submitted your application. So these are little things that people tend to overlook. A third scheme that I really had to do some follow-up research on is called the Dependents Pension Fund. Anybody remember that one? Eh? The widows and orphans. And you know, once you're a public servant, a pensionable public servant, you are contributing, or you should be contributing to that scheme every month. But there are a lot of things that I learned so much about this scheme. And I even learned that after I left the public service, right, that because I didn't submit a claim to them, good, I could have been refunded all that I paid in. Good? Yes. I get it. It's gone. It's gone down the line, in other words. I can't claim it anymore. So there are rules about that in terms of if you're coming off on retirement and you're not married, good, and your children are over, I think, 21 years, you can get back all that you paid into the scheme. So there are lots of little things that we need to get acquainted with. Good? Yes, so I think it's important because, you know, we might say it's a small amount, but every cent counts because you can put it away, you can make sure that you have it saved for a particular project. Good? I think one of the things as women's organization that we need to do is also to educate other women who are self-employed, who are domestic workers and childcare workers, those women who are vendors and entrepreneurs. They need to know more about how they can benefit from these various schemes that are available like NIS, because I understand that they too can apply, and I hope they are, all of you here can contribute, make the minimum contribution to NIS so that you can benefit from it after you reach the age of 60. You don't have to be employed by someone to pay into NIS. Women should, I want you to listen carefully to this one here. Good? Women should check to ensure that they are the beneficiary on their husband's retirement accounts. You want me to repeat that one? Women should ensure that they are the beneficiaries on their husband's retirement account. Let me tell you, we had a colleague at the UN who was divorced and remarried and had a second family. And then he died. Okay? His second family was a young girl with 3 children, and she was from Indonesia. Okay? And after he died, and she submitted and she tried to get some money, it was, sorry, his first wife was still his beneficiary on the office official documents. It was a sad affair, but it is real, and I know that it has happened to other people. So what what they would do is every year that they send a document so you can indicate if there are any changes in your status for your benefit, or if there are any changes of the beneficiary that you have submitted before. So I know this is a very sad one. Many women are caught up in work environments where abuse of authority and harassment occur. Am I lying? In such cases, they should exhaust all avenues to have such matters addressed so that they do not make rash decisions that would jeopardize their retirement plan. What I'm saying here is you just don't get mad and resign and left the work, right? Try to I'm not saying you must stay in abusive relationships or under abusive conditions, but exhort and make sure that if you have to leave, that all this information about your retirement plans are well covered. If you know you got to live 2 years, you got to know how to tuck in, right? Hold your tongue and move on. Don't let nobody jeopardize your retirement benefits. Where am I? Good. As I said, I was going to move on to healthy lifestyles, but Dr. Basio mentioned that. But what I would like to leave with you in terms of your health issues is that you should do regular and complete physical examinations, and any chronic conditions that you have, they should be flagged, especially in your NIS records, so that if you need to claim any health benefits after you retire, it will be on record. Because if you come up with it after you retire, they do not honor those benefits. For me, the most important thing, as I said, I couldn't believe I'm standing up here talking about retirement. But we need to get mentally prepared for retirement. Some women fear the prospect of retirement. They're scared. I'm going to be retiring. But it is advisable that one becomes mentally prepared for this phase in their life. Know your passion, something that you like doing that you can move on to. What are some of the things that you can do and be gainfully active during your retirement years? You can begin to engage in those activities even before your retirement. So if you like your little gardening, you like painting, you like craft, right? You should start doing it before. Maybe the work that you're doing does not give you the opportunity and the time to do it, but at least have that, what you're going to do after retirement, in mind, and work and put your mind towards it. My husband told me when I was preparing this presentation, he said, "Girl, I didn't realize that you like making all these crafty things to put in the house until now." I said, "Yeah, because I have the time now, I can do it." And you do things that you like and you enjoy, and you can sit back and admire your little handiwork. In conclusion, remember, spending your golden years traveling the world or settling into a comfortable, relaxed lifestyle without the need to work may be enticing for some. But for others, it may not be as exciting due to financial constraints or simply because of a desire to keep working. Now, if you were to go over the 55 years, we know that we could keep going and going and going. So, it is not a time for you to really hang up your hat, but you can find something that you can be engaged in. It may not pay as well as your job that you were doing, but it can keep your living expenses going while you have all the different retirement, pension, and NIS tucked away for use at a later time. Retirement is a comfort that requires good planning. Good planning. So let us as women aim at making life after retirement the best part of our lives. Happy International Women's Day to all. Thank you.